What's your name, sir?
Shane.
Shane? Stephanie. Thank you.
Stephanie.
So where do you live? Okay. Does it sound like this was just before 10 o'clock to you?
Yeah, right around that time.
Okay. How long have you been in the neighborhood here?
DC, 15 years, here about 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you before that?
I was in Shaw. Oh, before that, Navy, military.
Okay.
You know, all that before that.
All right. So military, then you know about the sound of gunfire?
Yeah. Yep. No, I knew exactly what it was right from the beginning.
Okay. And just to be clear, you're okay interviewing?
Yeah.
They haven't called the person yet. You're okay with
Yep.
interviewing? Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah.
So they're going to take us live at the top of this next show. We've got like a 2-minute break.
Okay.
I'll introduce what's happening. I'll say, you said Shane Stevens,
Yep.
right? Well, tell us what you heard.
Okay.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Of course.
Got it. I'm going to talk to a Shane Stevens who lives nearby. He heard the gunfire. Hey, we're like a minute away. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
This is our ANC Commissioner, Paul Robinson.
Hi. May we also talk with you? We're about to be live on Fox 5 here.
Okay.
You got a minute? That's okay?
Yes.
Tell me your name again, miss?
Joyce Robinson Paul. That's the
Joyce
ANC
Robinson.
commissioner.
Have you gotten an updated age? We were told 15 at
17.
first. Now
She's
17?
17 years
Okay.
old. I think she just got in.
That was her? Because we had asked and the
She
teacher
got
said
glazed.
no.
She got glazed.
Okay. Then we saw her get into the ambulance.
Now I have a teacher that's in there. She's giving me the lowdown on everything that's going on.
Do you know what classroom she was in here then? Or where in the building she was?
I don't know, but the bullet glazed her.
1 second, Joyce.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got to stand by.
This is the shooter. She was a basketball player for Dunbar. And somebody put out a bulletin.
Yep. Everyone's blowing up about the shooting.
Oh, okay. Look, there was a shooting a couple of days ago down the street. And then 2 weeks ago, 2 ladies got shot. You know, it's just...
Steve, and disturbing news hearing that a student was shot inside the school. Now, we want to clarify here what the police chief told us was that the student was grazed by a bullet that went through the window from a shooting that happened outside toward the front area of Dunbar High School on N Street. That student, originally we were told that she was around 15 years old. We're hearing that age has been updated to a little older. We are hearing she's still a teenager. Friends tell me she's 17 years old, and that's what an ANC commissioner here is also telling me as well. Nevertheless, a student inside her school building grazed by a bullet, shot as she's there for her school day. Now, this happened a little before 10 o'clock is what we're hearing so far. I do have, again, the ANC commissioner as well as a neighbor with me. I want to talk with the neighbor first. Mr. Shane Stevens, you said you heard the gunfire. What did this sound like for you?
It sounded similar to automatic fire, rifle fire, about 20 to 30 shots while we're sitting there with the window open watching our kids. And so it was pretty obvious. So we knew immediately, we heard the sirens going off, that it was just routine gunfire. There's nothing, we're not used to this, or we are used to this, and we just really hope the USAO would actually prosecute the cases for once at historical lows at 47% instead of doing their job. But
So a lot to unpack here. First, let's talk about the gunfire here. How do you know it's automatic?
I've heard in Afghanistan, I've heard in military training, I've been in the service for over decades, enlisted and in contract world, so it's pretty obvious, straightforward. And also we've heard this many times around this area as well, which again, back to the USAO, so yeah, pretty obvious.
Just to hear this in a school building, as kids are in school.
This is Truxton Circle. I've been in that school several times. I've talked to the 12th grade teachers, the 11th grade teachers, and counselors and everybody. And anything that happens in the school, they'll deal with. But if it's outside of the school, they don't deal with it. They don't realize that when they come down to our block, and stand out there and want to fight, I got to scream at them and tell them that I'm calling the police.
Yep.
And that's the only way to move them, is to tell them that I'm calling the police or I'm calling the school. And then I take a picture. I take pictures. I get the pictures to the teacher and everybody.
Folks,
it doesn't matter.
I didn't get a chance to introduce you, Ms. Joyce Robinson Paul, correct? The ANC commissioner for the area. Do
We
you?
are being bombarded with everything that's going on: gunfire, fightings. We have. If you walk down to New York, not New York, but North Capitol, you'll see a bunch of people standing there. They are getting. They're supposed to be synthetic marijuana, but I'm told that it's more in that marijuana than just.
It's drug den over there.
Yeah, and so we sit here, and they take it through the court system, and nothing happens.
Yeah, MPD does all the arrests, but we don't actually prosecute, which is infuriating. We're the historically low averages right now. This is insane. They're getting kids killed. This is not okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank
not
you guys
okay.
for sharing with us this afternoon. Steve, just to let you all know, so police are still here. Obviously, you can see. Let me show you the scene here. This is outside of Dunbar High School. But go ahead, Steve.
Now everybody's coming to get their kids. Nobody can get their kids. They on lockdown. I can't even go in there. Only Zachary was able to get in there because he's the council person.
Absolutely. So my anchor, Steve, would like to know from you, Ms. Joyce, how things have changed in the neighborhood if you've been here for so long.
I have lived here for 30 years, and all of my kids attended Dunbar, all 4 of them. They got scholarships to college. All of them have gone through master's degrees and college degrees as a result of the old Dunbar. Now the new Dunbar, anytime you have a principal that says she's an educator and she's not going out of the building, then that's when we have a problem, because the council person tried to get her to walk with us in the community so that we could show them the spots where the children are lingering in the morning before they go in the building. Once they get in the building, they all drugged up. What kind of education can they get? You know, I'm a grandmother and a mother, and I don't want to see this happen to a great school. It was one of the most prominent schools in D.C. It has Eleanor Holmes Norton went there. All of the people went to Dunbar Senior High School and graduated and are doing good things in our neighborhood. Now, how it's got to this point? Your leaders, bad leaders. We need good people that care about children. You'll come out that building if it was your child that was in the alley smoking weed. So why can't you come out there when it's a student smoking weed?
Are you hearing any more about what this shooting was about outside of the school and who it involved?
Probably drug related. It's always drug related, and that's what's going on right in our midst, and nobody's doing anything. They have a situation where the kids just come out the building. I mean, not the kids. We tried to get them to stop at 3 o'clock. Just have a police officer stand out there when it's time for the kids to go home. They were blocking the bus stop. It's a bus stop right there on P Street. Guess what Metro did? They closed it down. They closed the bus stop where our seniors go to get on the bus to go downtown. They got to walk either way down the street down here on North Capitol, or they got to walk. So their solutions are mute. They don't make a difference. They don't do anything for our kids. Somebody's not listening. We got too many people not listening.
Well, hopefully somebody's listening to this right now. And Steve, just to recap for everyone, the school is on lockdown. The students are inside. One student was shot, grazed in the head with a bullet. There is going to be a news conference at some point on the other side of the school. Our colleague Lili Zhang is headed in that direction now if she's not already there. This is the scene outside of Dunbar. Incredibly disturbing as kids are trying to learn on what should be a smooth, easy, coming to an end of the school year, really, as they get closer to that. Steve?
And I'm scared. I am really afraid now because...
Stay with us.
When we at the end, they start to fight because they don't care.
Thank you so much for talking with us. Steve,
Where
are
are
you going
you
to be
with? till Zachary comes back out, he's going to give me the lowdown on what's happening inside, because they would not let me in, but they let him in. So we're happy that he got to go in. He was really pissed off that nobody would let him in, so they finally let him in.
And that's what we're still trying to learn. If you guys were tuned in just a little bit, the viewers got to hear one of the neighbors, Shane Stevens, who lives nearby, said he's been here for the past 4 years and has military experience, describing some 20 to 30 rounds of, when he says automatic, fully automatic, just it keeps going. This shooting happened somewhere on the unit block of N Street, right outside the school is what we are being told. Now, hold on for 1 second here. So where we are with the ANC commissioner, who is sharing some more information in real time, but we know right now that police tell us they did not have an arrest right away. They did have a lookout. They were looking for what was described to be a black male wearing all dark clothing running toward New York Avenue. The police were warning people not to take action, to call 911 right away if you see anything or saw anything, but they were making it very clear that there was no active threat inside of the school. But yes, the student was inside, not clear what side of the school, because it takes up a good chunk of the block here, the actual building. It's a large high school, prominent high school in the DC area, and a historic one at that. But the student grazed in the head by a bullet, conscious and breathing, and actually we may have seen that student who walked into an ambulance just next to us, but a school official was not confirming that, understandably so. Well, we know it is a teenager, a female, and at first we were told preliminarily that it was a 15-year-old, but that it seems now that that was just early information. She is a little bit older. Multiple people, students, and the ANC commissioner with me, saying that it was a 17-year-old who was grazed by a bullet inside the school building here. We're standing by 1st and N Street Northwest. That's the scene you're looking at right now.
And it's the
Steve?
same alley area where we asked the principal to walk with us, and she said, "I'm an educator, I don't come out of the building." You know, so how come then you shouldn't be in this school if you can't come out the building and see what's happening to these kids? You know, they get all drugged up and then they go to school. And I said, their parents should know. Y'all not letting their parents, y'all walk around looking cute.
I will ask Ms. Robinson Paul right now. Mike, you know, we're talking about all of the violence that's been going on in the district. There's been many efforts to try and address this. What do you want to see change? What needs to happen for you?
Well, first of all, in 2008, we did a resolution to build that facility up so it would house more children going into the playground to play. And then in 2023, I did a new resolution, and we voted for it. My ANC voted to have a rec center with a splash park, just so the kids can walk into this facility and go play. That's what kids do. They play.
They need places.
Yeah, they need places to play.
One gentleman told
safe
me,
places
not just safe places, but things that don't close at 6 o'clock. Locations that are available to them at different hours of the time that are safe places.
Yes.
Is that available to the kids here?
No. They just built about 1,000 units of apartments right in the next block. You can see all the apartments that they built. 1,000 kids walking around. Their parents don't have nowhere to let them go, so they let them out for a minute and say, come in when it get dark. These kids are just, it's terrible to see this and not have a facility for our kids to play, a safe haven for our children to play.
Do you feel safe in the community, and do you hear that from
yesterday
you
said
you don't.
No, yesterday I had to move the kids off my street because they were getting ready to fight. And I said, I'm calling the police and I'm calling up to Dunbar. I know the teachers up at Dunbar. I'm going to call them. I'm going to take y'all a picture. They ran when I told them I was taking their picture. Yes, say y'all can run if you want to, but if you come in front of my house, I'm going to call the police and the school and let them know to have somebody come and get y'all, because it doesn't make sense for y'all to disrupt our neighborhood.
What was your reaction when you first learned that a student was shot inside the school?
I told Zachary, I said, Zachary, 2 people got shot 2 weeks ago. Another person got shot yesterday, right there at 1st and P Street. No, that's unit block of P Street, Northeast and Northwest. I said, how many shootings do y'all have to have before y'all understand that this neighborhood is under siege? We don't have nothing for these kids to do, and they're doing anything and everything, and everybody wants to say, that's not my job. That's not what I do. Well, it is your job, and it is what you do.
What about the efforts that city leaders are putting forward? The council passed an emergency crime bill legislation. We had the mayor criticizing that we're not reporting a week of no homicides. Do you think that those efforts are making a difference at all?
Does a person have to die before you can report something? No, it's not making a difference. The crime bill is going to put them in jail. They let the older people out, and now the new young people are going back into the prison system. We don't want that. We want them to go to college. They can go to college at UDC almost for free. There's no reason why our kids who go to Dunbar Senior High School shouldn't be on their way to UDC, which is a free school and got all type of activities. We got money from the Congresswoman, so that if they go to the school out of DC, they can get money from that program. We don't want to see our kids go to jail.
What about the kids? Do they feel safe? Do you get to talk to any of the students?
No, they don't feel safe. I see them walking down. First, most of them walk on that side. When they walk on this side, then we know something's up. Then when they all go to fight, then we find out that it's something going on. We say, stop. Y'all need to stop it.
Ms. Joyce, thank you so much. Guys, so we are still reporting on this. A news conference expected soon. I'm going to send it back into you.
We need them to stop. And we need our council people and our mayor. There's no recreation. This little teeny clubhouse is the only recreation that our children have. That is the only recreation. And that's sad. That's a sad scenario. When you have thousands of kids and thousands of houses being built, and you don't have...
That's a great point. Give me 1 second here. I'm sorry. Hey, Loretta. Certainly a very active scene out here. If you could take a look on your scene, you see just how many police officers are out here. This entire area right now is roped off with that police tape. This is pretty much about as close as we're going to get, at least for the time being. I can tell you on the scene that we are seeing there's a podium set up, so surely we're hoping to speak with somebody pretty soon here, be it from the police department or perhaps from the mayor's office. Not sure who exactly will be part of that briefing later on, but we will certainly bring you guys the latest as soon as we learn more.
Grab an XLR. But Not looks like one, 3 or 4.
I'm going to get a mic cable.
Yeah, we got a little bit more info on the shooting that took place. Looks like they're coming over. Let's start live with them. 2 minutes. You guys can take me live, and then we can take them live.
Okay. Yep. Doug's coming. It's on.
Change of gunfire between individuals on the 1200 block of Kirby Street. What I also want to just mention right out the gate is that this was not a shooting that was directed at Dunbar High School. Even though our students have been on lockdown, I want everyone to know that our students are secure and they are safe. I will now turn this portion of the press conference over to Assistant Chief Leslie Parsons, who will give you additional details preliminarily on what has occurred this morning. Chief Parsons.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chief. I am Leslie Parsons, the Assistant Chief for the Metropolitan Police Department's Investigative Services Bureau. Around 9:54 this morning, our officers responded for the report of a shooting victim inside of Dunbar High School. When they arrived on the scene, they located a 17-year-old female with a minor graze injury. That female has been taken to a local hospital where she is receiving treatment. Her family is by her side. She is totally fine and expected to make a full recovery. As we investigated this scene, we learned that a vehicle traveled the wrong way in the 1200 block of Kirby Street Northwest. As that vehicle drove up the block, once it was about halfway through the block, there was a series of gunshots followed by some more gunshots. At this time, we believe there was an exchange of gunfire in that block amongst individuals. However, the motive remains unknown. What we do know is that there were folks that were out there when this occurred. And if anybody was out there or anybody sees anything, we'd encourage them to call us at 727-9099, or they can send us a text at 50411. Our detectives are going to be in this area throughout the day. They're going to be canvassing, they're going to be knocking on doors, and we would appreciate any help from the public in our community. If anybody has any video or any information, no matter how small, it may help us in this case. At this time, like I said, this is very preliminary. We're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation. There's not much more information I can provide at this time. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll open it up for any questions you may have.
How did the bullet get in the school? Did it go through a window, a wall? How did it hit her?
So during that event, as I mentioned, the exchange of gunfire, there were several rounds that did go through the glass at Dunbar, through glass windows.
Into a classroom or somewhere else?
Believed to be a classroom, yes. I haven't been on the inside myself, but believed to be that the student was in a classroom.
Question. I was talking to neighbors on the other side. They were saying that they've seen activity, violence in the past nearby. Can you speak to that at all? What this neighborhood is like in terms of that?
Now, I think that in the past, and this was actually might be 20 years ago when I first started on the job, but this neighborhood has come a long way under the 3rd District, under Commander Bowler. Our officers are always out here in the area, always visible, so I think our officers do a good job of trying to work with the community and quell the violence that happens in our neighborhoods.
So school remains on lockdown right now. When can parents maybe come?
So the school will be lifting the lockdown shortly if they haven't lifted it already, and students will be dismissed on the opposite side of the school. Okay?
Any more questions?
All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Nothing from Mayor?
Chief?
Nothing? Hi.
Down front.
Yeah, Eric, I got you. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of information as to what happened before those bullets made their way into Dunbar High School. The key details here, we're now learning that the bullets came into the window, and it appears that the 17-year-old girl was struck and seen in the classroom the window was saved and grazed her. The good news here is that we're told that she's doing okay, she's expected to fine, she's with her family, and she was taken to a hospital. But police are saying that there was some sort of issue when a driver went the wrong way on Kirby Street, which is a couple blocks down this way behind me. And then there was some sort of exchange with another individual. There was gunfire.
Hey, Daniel, does the mayor plan to release? I thought they were going to call her to the podium.
The update that we just heard from police is that the lockdown is expected at any moment at this point, and parents will be able to pick up their students on the other side of the school behind me. Chief Hamlin Smith did not take any questions. Mayor Bowser, who you saw was at the press conference as well, who just made her way there, did not take any questions. It seems like they were speaking. Just walked off. We are talking about that later on the situation, but just a difficult situation.
Is the mayor planning on? I thought they were going to call her to the podium. Is she going to release a comment statement?
I'm not sure.
Not sure yet. Okay.
But again, I think the most important news here is that the 17-year-old girl who was shot is okay. She's with her parents, and she's expected to live.
The basketball coaches, football coaches over here, they need this help with the mayor to help with these organizations, to help with these youth. It really does need help.
And then we have a situation where we have limited programs for them to get employed. The summer youth program opened up, then it closed so fast before all the kids could get in the door. Now, when Mayor Barry was in there, he made sure any kid that wanted to work had the right to work so that they could earn their own money and get a work ethic. But we have to teach these kids ourselves. So programs that are not going to serve them, if that's not the program that's going to serve them, hey, get rid of it. Put programs in there. Make the summer youth program. Any child that want to work from 14 to 24, get a job. Come on, put some money into that budget.
Ladies, thank you so much, and we appreciate the context, especially when we talk about it takes a village. Guys, we're right outside Dunbar High School still, continuing to bring you the latest and also what's going on here on the ground. I'm going to send it back into you. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Sure, yes.
Yes, because this is
out. Now, I don't know, you guys can tell me better if the lockdown status has changed, but these parents are here to pick up their children. They're very concerned with what's going on, and they want to take their kids home, and that's not happening. Now, I imagine a portion of that has to do with the actual investigation that's going on right outside. That evidence has to be collected. You see the forensics team walking their way up to Dunbar High School right now. It looks like they're likely going to go into the school building and do what they need to do, and that might be another reason why students are not being allowed to move right now, because the scene cannot be touched so they can properly collect evidence to investigate in this shooting. But still, guys, just a lot of frustration is what we are hearing now over by 1st and N Street Northwest. Marissa, Steve? So that is a great question. What I can tell you is that the parents are in direct communication with their children as we speak. And as far as they are aware, they are not being allowed out at the moment. So that is what I can tell you. In terms of not hearing direction from the school, unfortunately, it is often sometimes complicated to get updated information from the school system. We hope that they're at least updating the parents, and then sometimes we get information from the parents, but that doesn't help when there's different levels of how people receive communication and get their updates, and so it becomes a very frustrating situation. But again, the parents that I'm talking with are in direct contact with their kids. They already even know who the student is, according to the student shot and injured is, according to their children. But in terms of when and where they're going to be released, that is still not something that the kids are able to answer. So a lot of the parents right now are just trying to figure out where exactly in the building their kids are and whether they were even close to any of what happened outside of the school right now. Steve? Folks, I'm sorry. Are any of you two parents?
I'm a parent.
We're live on Fox right now.
Oh my God, that looks terrible.
It's very serious what's happening.
My son is in there, and he's a senior. He come out of here and go to Delaware State.
Good for him.
But he has to leave here and go do some volunteer hours of bread for the city. So I was gonna pick him up and take him, because they, you know, a lot of the seniors are half a day.
Can we talk to you? Can we bring you on camera and talk to you on TV?
Sure.
Thank you. What's your name?
Fragile.
Stephanie.
All right. Y'all did a story on my son a while ago.
What happened?
He is
in the back?
On the back side.
Thank you. Is that the school saying that?
Yeah. My son, I just talked to my son. He said the same thing.
So he said, tell me what he said.
He said they're getting ready to release the students on the back side. Yeah.
About how long ago did you get that information?
About 5 minutes ago.
But okay.
And I heard they shot up Baloo yesterday. So we think they're going to school just shooting. That's crazy.
I got you, Steve. Hey, so we're here with another parent. Tell me your name again, Miss.
Fragile Ellis.
Fragile. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Yes.
So she just told us that she was told by her son they are going to release the students on the back end of the school. Do you know how long that's going to happen?
They said in the next 10 minutes.
In the next 10 minutes. All right. So I imagine you're going to want to run there. I want to quickly talk to you about your son and everything that happened here today.
Well, I heard that a bullet went through the window and grazed the girl on the head. But she's okay so far, is what we heard. But my son is a senior here, and he's getting ready to graduate and go to Delaware State.
Good for him.
So I have a lot of concerns because it's a high crime area over here, and this happens often. And we're not sure if it's a student that's having a dispute with somebody that's from the area, because a lot of the students that go to Dunbar is from around here. So we don't really know. But I just heard from another parent that they shot Ballou up yesterday, Ballou High School. So we don't know if they're just going to high schools, shooting up high schools.
There was a shooting outside of Ballou. We were sent to investigate that, but we can definitely look more into that. Just your thoughts, though, as a mother, what was your first reaction when you learned that a student had been shot, and then now you're learning?
I called my son on FaceTime, and he said they were sheltering in place in the classrooms, and they weren't letting them out. But he said, Mom, come pick me up. I mean, and this isn't the first time. This has been several shootings around here at Dunbar throughout the past few years that he's been here. And every time I come and pick him up, he don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with him being at this school. It's a good school. It's just the area that the school is in is bad.
It sounds like he worked very hard. He said he's going to Delaware State, but it was an even bigger obstacle then because of everything he's facing in school?
Not really. They just not too long ago did a story on my son, Fox 5. His name is Perry Ellis Spriggs. He's DC State champ wrestler, and he's a national cyclist. And they came and did a story on him here, showing all of his success. And actually, his freshman year, it was all online because of COVID. It's been a lot of challenges here in DC for these schools and these students. And as a parent, I'm glad my son is a senior. He's about to graduate and get out of DC. Out of here. And we were born and raised right here in Northwest.
That's a shame to hear that.
I'm ready for him to go. And with all of the stuff going on in Gaza and the other countries, and now the universities, they're doing protests. When he go to Delaware State, I'm going to tell him, mind your business. Stay away from protests or anything. You're here to get your education. That's what you need to focus on. It's dangerous. But I feel safer with him going to Delaware State than being here at Dunbar. As a parent, all you can do is pray, put that hedge of protection around your kids, and when you hear stuff like this, come down here and pick them up. That's all we can do.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes.
Congrats to your son. That is a blessing.
You.
Sorry we have to talk under these circumstances.
Absolutely, but we're going to make sure our babies are safe. It's a lot of parents out here waiting to pick their babies up. And I have to go to work, but it is what it is. My son's safety is more important than the job.
May I ask you, and the mayor was at the press conference today with the police chief. She did not speak. Anything you would want to hear from her or say to her?
I want to say to the mayor, I voted for Muriel Bowser in all her terms. I voted for her. I think we were doing pretty good in D.C., and all of a sudden the youth just went crazy. Because if you think about it, most of the crime that's going on is coming from the youth. They closed all the wrecks in D.C. I grew up in D.C., born and raised here. When they started closing all the wrecks, it kept a lot of youth from having a place to go and vent and have fun. It's not a lot of places for them to go. So they're just on the streets. And they're causing havoc in D.C. They need more programs for the youth, and they need to figure out the root cause of what's causing them to run through D.C. and just commit crimes. They need something to do. They need more programs for these kids. It starts with the parents. It starts on trying to figure out what's going on at home, because there's Mayor Bowser, they got the new laws. They're saying that they're going to hold the parents accountable. It's not our fault. If you think your kids are in school and you're at work, but they're in the street committing crimes, how you going to hold the parents accountable for the kids? That's not fair. They need to hold the kids accountable. They need to change the laws and hold them accountable. And all of this, waiting until they're adults to charge them, they need to charge them. You're doing adult crime, you need to do the adult time. That's how I feel.
I appreciate you sharing that. I do. Thank you so much. And your son, he's okay, right?
He's okay. My Delaware State Hornet, he getting ready to go to school, you know, and he made it through Dunbar. And with all the shootings here at Dunbar, and even some students over the years that died, you know.
Do you know how many shootings and how many students?
It's been a lot in 4 years.
I'm sorry I even have to ask that.
It's been a lot in 4 years, and Dunbar has been on the news a multitude of times, I'm sure you know, but it's been a lot. And I think it's the area, and some students are involved as well because they're from this area. So in my opinion, it might be that the ones that's running the streets, that live in the neighborhood, you know, but a lot of these students live in the southeast and southwest, you know, and they got the neighborhoods beefing over what? Over what? It's ridiculous, you know? But my son is not in none of that. So it's unfortunate that a student got hit, but I heard a bullet went through the window and grazed a little girl on her head.
Yes.
That could have been any of our kids.
Yes. And it could have been worse too.
Could have been worse.
May I ask you, to any kids or young parents who might be listening, sounds like, you know, your son's going places, anything you would say to them, give them some hope, any words of encouragement, especially to the kids out there who might be watching?
Find a program, learn a trade. They need to have some more trade. They need to have trade school classes in the high schools. Make them feel like they have a purpose or they have a skill, they have something that they can use in life. They don't have any skills. A lot of them don't even go to school. You know, with the truancy law, they don't care about
they have
that.
skills, it's how they use it, right?
It's how they use it. And I think that the DC superintendent for public schools need to reevaluate the classes and the courses that they have for the schools, for the students.
Okay.
Give them a purpose. You know, teach them how to make money. Teach them how to be entrepreneurs and make their own money.
Build up their skills.
Build their skills.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck with everything. Please give your son our best as well.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, have a blessed day.
You as well. You as well.
All right.
All right, guys. We're here at First and N outside of Dunbar, where you hear what's happening outside the school. Still closed off here as the investigation continues. I'm going to send it back into you, but it does look like dismissal is going to be happening soon on the back end. Okay, Marissa, Steve, let me send it back to you.
Constituent service person for our neighborhood.
Yes.
So, and I'm telling him the same thing. Y'all can give the Wizards $515 million. So you can put $15 million into building this up so it's large enough to house our youth.
Yeah.
Because that's where the kids go after school. You think they go home? No, they don't go home. They're not asked to be home till dark, so they come to the playground and play. So,
thank you.
And as an we got everything in line that we need to have in line. The resolution is in there. All the council has to do is put it in the budget. It's budget time, right? Put it in the budget. Does it take this? What more does it take for you to put money in the budget? To build this 100-year-old little clubhouse that can't house nothing. So the kids
You said the councilman for this area?
Yeah.
Is Zachary
Parker.
Is he here?
He's here. He was here. We were standing out there because at first they wouldn't let him in.
Let me find him.
And then they eventually let him in. He got to come back this way because his car's back this way. Because I seen him when they got out the car. And that looked like the chief of 3rd District right there. But they know they're not doing what they should be doing. And it's easy to be able to say, we don't have enough police.
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Hey, Kenny. That is where we started. Outside is hot though. Are they going to take us roll?
But second period, they had them in lockdown for first and second, and now the 3A is starting. They will be up here.
Okay. We're good to do that then? Okay. All right. Can we walk and talk?
Yeah, where are you walking?
We gotta move.
Where are you going?
Back in where the kids are being released.
Oh, that's on the other side.
I'm gonna give you this. Unless you wanna, I'll hold, all right, I'm gonna turn it off real quick. Unless you wanna interview live.
No.
Chris, hear me?